Welcome back to another episode of Theory Pre-Med. Theory Pre-Med is a podcast following the journey of three pre-med students, Mo, Todd, and Nathan. We talk about our path and experiences as we bring on guests who will connect pre-meds worldwide. If you are thinking about med school or healthcare in general, our podcast will give you the ultimate student perspective. Also, as always, thank you to Chapman Radio for giving us the space to record. This would not be possible without Chapman Radio. Woo. So today is Friday. Friday is a beautiful day today because it is not only Friday, it is a Friday before breaks begin.
Yes.
So Thanksgiving break
Finally.
is starting after this podcast is done. So we are all very, 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 very excited.
Yeah.
I know myself, I'm well in need of this break because one, I had my bio exam, my biochem exam on Monday. Mm-hmm. We all did. And I also had another exam for my comp sci class on Thursday. So it's been a lot of studying, a lot of late nights, a lot of craziness happening. But we are here. We have finally made it. We are alive. We are alive pre-meds.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for the break. It's been a crazy first part of the semester. I mean, this is the longest stretch of school, right?
Yeah.
In the year. And we were just jumping into biochem, all these hard classes, and just tons of extracurriculars. So it is definitely time for a break.
Fall semester is always long. I don't know.
Long, man.
Compared to spring.
Just to give some context for those who maybe don't know. So what happens is we have, I think it's like it's Memorial Day. Yeah, Memorial Day, which is the first Monday of the second. Yeah, the Monday of the second week of school is like the only day that we have off. And then we just go all the way from there until Thanksgiving break.
You
yeah,
run.
So we're in school like the whole time. And I don't know, a lot of other colleges seem to have at least like one day where they, like more than one day where they have a day off. But for us, it was like a straight shot.
Or they just start like a month later than us. Like we started in August, late August, and a lot of schools, including UCs, like start late September. So it's not even that much, and then they go into Thanksgiving, so it's a lot less of a gap. So
I would honestly be down to start school a week early and get an extra week break in the semester.
Maybe.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think it would be very nice.
I've
like
thought about
around week like 6, I think that's a perfect spot. It's really when you start feeling the heat.
Yeah.
And you're like, and then week 7, week 8 hits, and you're just like, I don't want to be here right now, type of thing. And especially, I don't know, I kind of like how right now it becomes dark outside at around 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Just because you kind of get in that study groove. But at the same time, your body's like, all right, time to sleep.
That's
And you're like, what's happening? I don't want to go to sleep. I still have biochem reading to do.
Yeah, I think the day's over at 6 p.m. I get home and it's like dark. I'm like, all right, making dinner, sleep time, it's over.
No, but I think we're 2 weeks away from finals, and then once finals is over, we're basically cruising through interterm. Are you guys taking interterm courses?
I'm thinking about it. I probably won't, though.
Okay.
I don't really need to.
I'm doing research credit.
Research?
I'll do research.
It's for my minor. I can use it for my minor.
Are you doing it with your research at UCI? That's really cool. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to be doing research, but I don't think I'm going to do it for credit. I don't know. It's just I want to be able to come in.
Can you during internship?
Yeah.
It's just 1 credit, right?
Yeah, you can go up
to 3.
Oh, you can
4,
get-
technically.
Really? Okay.
Actually, no. I think you can only take 3 at a time.
Yeah, but you could do like 3 internship or 3 research and then 1 internship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
Yeah. Either way, so before we get started into our actual topic for today, there was one like hypothetical that popped into my head yesterday that I want to talk about, and it was basically, is it possible to have a schooling system that's examless?
Isn't that what Elon Musk did?
Did he?
I think so because
I didn't even know he has a school.
yeah, he has a school, and it was Star something. That's the school name.
Is it still like?
Of course, it's star something.
It's only a handful of students that are in there, and his kids are part of that handful. But the thing is, the entire school is built on kind of doing things. So, for example, when you're learning engineering, you're not just learning it from like a textbook. There's a car, build the car,
Dang.
type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're really learning how all these different tools are used, how the different components within the car are used, for example, and eventually you're able to apply that concept to different things. So you're not really being tested, you're doing hands-on things, which I think is definitely beneficial. But I also see where exams do need to be there.
I think just to give a little bit more context, so the reason why I wanted to talk about this, and I think we can all agree, tell me if you don't, I guess, but a lot of times I think we can definitely see how exams can make learning like a lot more stressful. And by not having exams, I think we'd all be less stressed out. But then there is also the opposite argument that like
You need some way to test
assess.
your
Yeah.
knowledge. Yeah, exactly. But kind of like what Mo said, just some sort of like uh, project, I guess, or something that demonstrates that you've actually learned it without it being like a stressful exam. I like a semester long kind of slow project that counts as like your final like final credit, final exam grade. That kind of thing kind of appeals to me because it's something that really proves that you've learned something without being super stressful. We did that in biostats. Also, I mean, yeah, somewhat. Also, like in DNA to Dinosaurs, Dr. Shu calls all of his exams and quizzes learning checks. And I think he does that. Well, obviously, he does that on purpose to like take stress off the students, but they're still like weighted the same as exams and quizzes. So I think like professors are, and we saw this kind of in comp sci as well. They're trying to like move away from like the traditional exam quiz format, and they're moving towards more of like here's just like a little check in the middle of like what you're learning just to see that check your progress, right? But in this case, it's like very heavily weighted. So I guess they're moving away from that sort of thing. So
Going back to Elon Musk's school, it is called Astra Nova.
Okay.
Okay. And it is, this is what it says. The most exclusive school in the world. We had been operating for less than 2 months with 9 students and 2 full-time teachers. And this came out, I think, in 2020. So now it's over 2 months. A few years later, blah, blah, blah. They created a secretive laboratory school for brilliant kids who love flamethrowers.
Okay.
So
No way.
Yeah, and I think it's $32,000 a year to attend the school. So it definitely seems like a very interesting concept. But going back to the main topic that we were discussing, I could see both sides. One, where there's a very project-based side of things, which we tend to see a lot with comm sci courses and
Exactly.
things like that. But when you go into more of the biology, chemistry things, that's where you tend to see more of the traditional tests. And I see the positives of both sides, especially in OChem when we had an exam every like 2 weeks or every other week. I think it really kept you on your toes and you were constantly reviewing the material. And by the end of the semester, you knew the stuff. If you did well for the exams and things like that, and you just kept on reviewing, at the end of the semester, you really knew your stuff. But then with a lot of the project stuff, it's especially when it's a group project, I think it's easy for certain members of the group to just kind of lay back a little bit and let other team members take the lead on it, and then those members tend to do the most. And then the team members that kind of lay back and just are there for the ride type of thing, they tend to not really learn much out of it.
Right.
But at the same time, there are classes where you are doing a project just on your own, and that takes the entire kind of semester, and you're doing different points. And that was a great example of that was Comp Sci 292 that we took, or Bio 292.
And biostats as well had
So
had a
I haven't
similar
taken
thing.
biostats yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's actually a really great concept. It's not working on a project at the end of the semester. It's you're working with the one project the entire semester. Because you're constantly revisiting it, you're reviewing things, you're like, oh, I did this at the start of the semester. Why did I do it? But at the same time, when it comes to like having no exams, and it's really difficult to gauge where the students are at, because you could complete a project in so many different ways.
Yeah.
But with an exam, the teacher or the professor could really focus down on specific topics that they want to make sure that you come out of the course with. And
Exactly.
that's how they test you. So
And also, you can't prove like somebody's not cheating on like a project, right? But in an exam, like it has to come from your own brain. You can't look anything up or anything.
Yeah. So I'm gonna play like a little bit of devil's advocate here, just because like I want to pose this question. But you guys are talking about projects versus exams in terms of gauging student knowledge. And do you ever think about like the fact that maybe exams might not actually be the best way though to see or to gauge students like knowledge, because a lot of times people can get overly stressed out during tests. Some people have really bad test anxiety. People aren't good test takers, and it's kind of like really this sort of situational thing where your performance in this class deals with like maybe like 2 or 3 days really where you're taking the test. And that's kind of not really exact, but in some ways it's like it
Right.
all depends on how you perform on like 4 days. Like, do you have any like comments or thoughts about that?
I definitely see where you're coming from, but at the same time, with projects, a lot of people tend to wait on those projects till the last 3 days. So then they start stressing out about that project for those last 3 days. And then, especially if it's like a huge project where it encompasses a lot of the material from the entire course, waiting those last 3 days, I feel like would be even more stressful than just the exam. Like, and with exams, you have a lot of resources like the tutoring learning center, and all those things that you're able to go and they help you kind of take that exam in a quieter environment, or you get longer periods of time to take the exam and things like that. And I feel like if you are stressing over an exam, at that point you have to really see how you're studying for that exam, because you could kind of deplete a lot of that stress by extending the duration of time you're using to study for that exam. So instead of starting 3 days before, start a week before, start a week and a half before. And spread out the material. And in that scenario, you're able to ask questions about different things that you're not too sure about. So let's say a topic comes up, instead of it coming up like 2 days before the exam, then it comes up a week before the exam, and you're able to ask questions about that, and then that kind of helps you.
Okay. So just to wrap it up, do we have any final answers on like yes or no? Do we think that schools can be like you can have an exam-less school system or something?
I think it's very possible, but it's very hard to regulate, learning without some sort of examination, right? So we talked a lot about projects being a good replacement, but at the end of the day, if it's a take-home project, even if it's a project that you're only allowed to work on in class, like it's usually not going to have the full benefit of like an exam where you're tested fully on your knowledge and your knowledge alone. So it's difficult to replace, but if you could replace it, I think most schools would, because of just the problems with testing anxiety and students like underperforming on exams when they think they really know the information. So it's a tough thing, but I think it's theoretically possible. Personally,
I think that it's not, just because at the end of the day, you need to make sure that the students do know the certain material that you're testing on. So if you're doing a project, a lot of that is subjective because there's so much free room. Let's say you're asked to make a video game for a certain project. Each person's video game is going to be completely different. And at that point, how do you judge that? I mean, yeah, you could have criterias, but how are those criterias met? There's going to be so many different ways, and then that grading becomes very subjective.
Mm-hmm.
But on a test, let's say it's multiple choice or even
Correct.
free response, a lot of the time they're very direct, and they're trying to make sure that you know a specific piece of material, and depending on your answer, you're either going to get it right or wrong or partially right. So I think tests are definitely the move, but there definitely needs to be improvement on, I think, both the teacher and student side of things on how to approach exams to make it less stressful.
Cool. Yeah, honestly, I kind of feel like in some ways there are ways to have, like there theoretically could be a way to have an exam-less school system, yet is it realistic? I don't really think so. I don't really know. I mean, if it were to happen, it definitely won't happen nearly anytime soon. Like we'd probably be able to develop like an AI brain before we go to exam-less schools.
Yeah.
And I think I think in part it has to do with the fact that there's so many students, and at so many different points in their careers, you have to stratify them and basically like, determine who really has kind of quote unquote learned the material the most based on an exam performance versus those who maybe have not performed as well. Although I think that there's problems with both either way.
Totally.
Yeah.
And another thing, I'm just thinking about it, and if you guys want to add on to it too, feel free to. So let's say in med school, you're taking all the examinations on different pathways and things like that, and like medications, all that. That is very stressful. But when you're in the field, you're also going to be stressed. People's lives are at risk. So at the same time, that risk is something that should be part of the test in a way, just because it is something you're going to see in the real world, and you have to learn how to cope with it and just find ways to manage around it early on. Because no matter what, when you're being tested, you're always going to have some type of like anxiety or pressure. You're never going to go into a test and be like, let's do this. I'm so excited for this test. It's hard to do that. And I think it's just managing. You have to learn how to manage.
It's a really good point.
Maybe, yeah.
It's a good point for pre-med specifically. I think
Yeah.
people in like other professions might disagree because obviously what they're doing is not like risking lives, but yeah, that kind of fear that goes with tests, it should be that type of like anxiety or stress that you have to manage on the job. So yeah, I agree with Mo. I agree with Mo. But what about you, Todd?
I don't know. In some ways, like I definitely see the point of like, of it being a test because obviously when you're actually working, you're actually practicing. It is like a test. Obviously, you don't want to screw up because then you could really, hurt someone. But kind of the idea that like they should be stressed out in their learning process, like no one's like they're not going to be stressed. Like if you ask a doctor, I think a lot of specialties would say like that they're not stressed about what they do as a job because at that point they know it so well that it's not stressful for them. Like for them, like they know what to do. They
Yeah.
know.
Well, that's probably because they've gone through the stress already
Right,
by
but
taking the exams.
Right, but who says that the actual learning process has to be stressful? You know what I'm saying? It's like just because like
Okay.
tests can be stressful, like it doesn't mean that they have to go through like a stressful learning process to get to the same amount of knowledge of where they are right now to like where they're not stressed out at work.
I mean, the entire goal of the test shouldn't be like focused on stress itself, but the stress that like the minimal stress that might accompany it, I think is okay to a certain extent. Because let's think about studying for an exam. When like 2 weeks before the exam, you're not as stressed out for it. You're not gonna start studying, but the closer you get, the more stressed you get about that test, and the more studying you're going to do. So I feel like there is a point of stress that is very efficient and like really drives a person, and I don't know. It's kind of like a little bell curve,
yeah.
right? I'm not sure if you guys have seen that before, but
Right.
at that right point of stress, you're going to be very efficient. You're going to be very effective at doing what you're doing. But if you get too stressed, then you're not going to be as effective because now instead of focusing on the material, you're focusing more on stressing out. And if you're on the point where there's no stress at all, then you're not going to be doing any studying or anything like that or really progressing because you're chilled back. You're like, I don't need to worry about this right now. This is going to be for the future. So I think there needs to be some type of stress, just a little bit, to really drive you to get something done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's basically about putting that stress in what kind of form. Is it an exam? Is it a project? Is it something else that, will be the most beneficial to students? So I think we had a good discussion about this. It's like kind of an impossible question to solve though.
Yeah,
So
it's a hypothetical.
yeah.
So.
But I do think one thing I do disagree with is exams that are kind of very have very subjective answers to them. Where let's say you're asked a very general question and the teacher expects you to read their mind in a way and write down specific words. Although there could be like 10 million different answers, but you have to go for that specific answer that they're thinking of. I'm like, if you ask a general question and you got an answer that is correct, you can't mark them off for that.
Yeah, it has to be fair.
One last thing that I wanted to add to this, and this is
Okay,
kind of
one
just
last thing actually.
This is it's kind of a little tangential, but basically today, or not today, but this week in neuroscience, we talked about how basically people are developing, or no, there's this like researcher who's like using fMRIs to like get brain.
What are fMRIs?
So it's a functional MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, which basically is imaging like blood flow to certain regions of the brain. And what this person was able to do is like generate like a brain fingerprint of people, and he's able to do things like scan the brain and then have like an AI, like I think it was like draw out basically what the person was seeing based off of like their brain blood flow. And so like they could, I mean, it wasn't obviously it's not like perfect resolution, but they could like they showed a picture of what someone was looking at and then like a picture of what the AI was drawing, like based off of like what they were scanning the brain for. And it was like, you could like kind of see it's like, I mean, it's not really that similar, but like it's something.
Like outlines of stuff or
kind of, yeah, like very it's like very pixelated.
Okay.
And then they could also do that like when someone's dreaming. They can like,
no way.
So in senses they can kind of mind read people. And they got me thinking, I was like, dang, well, what if one day like
That's
they have,
crazy.
yeah, like my my dream has always been like I wish I could just study for something, hop into a machine, the machine scans my brain for the knowledge that I would know and put on a test, and then just give me the grade right there. So that way you don't actually have to go through the
Wow.
stress of testing. You just
Solved.
pop yourself into a machine and like it scans like, okay,
Imagine,
do you
dude.
know
Imagine.
do you know like this question, do you know the answer to this question? Like would you know the answer to this question and stuff? And they can't do that. But I was like, well,
I
what
don't
if you
know, man.
could
You can't
what if
rule
you
it
could do
out.
that one day?
Wait,
you know?
that would be perfect because it eliminates the stress of like when you're actually taking the exam.
Yeah, and think about how much more you'd study if that was the case.
But then you
Where-
can't guess on multiple choice.
That's
Well,
true.
like, it was- well,
That's
it's-
true,
like,
but
Yeah, I mean my whole
that's
fantasy.
better though because you're not like.
Well, I'm saying like so like for the student,
Oh, that's,
look, you
yeah.
like suck
Okay.
because then
So
you're
if
like,
there's something you didn't know, yeah.
oh
can't-
yeah,
yeah.
you're right. Like process of elimination
Yeah.
becomes impossible.
that gets
Or
eliminated.
I mean, or
Right,
if there's a way,
yes.
or if there's a way to for the brain scanner to like predict what you would guess.
Wow.
That would- I don't know.
Tune
that would be
in
cool.
200 years from now.
Yeah.
All right, so I think something that we all wanted to talk about is Thanksgiving break. It's coming up. We were all obviously very excited about it. I don't know. I think going into it, I want to make sure that I'm very productive, but at the same time, I want to take a step back and just chill out. Like I'm really excited to play video games. I
Me
know
too.
What do you-
Warzone 2 came out,
Okay.
so I'm definitely gonna go pick that up. And I think Modern Warfare 2 also came out,
Wait.
so I'm gonna see if I could get that too.
Sorry. So you keep saying like, are you guys gonna get it? Or you're gonna go pick it up? Is it a download thing, or do you have to go get it at a store?
Or you could buy it online on like the store,
Okay,
or you
okay.
could buy it. But Warzone,
Oh, is it a
hard
disc?
copy.
Modern Warfare 2, the actual multiplayer game,
Yeah, yeah.
is a disc, or you could download it. But then Warzone 2 is for free,
Okay.
and you could download it too.
On PS4 or PS5?
PS5, PS4, I think.
PC.
PC.
Oh, okay.
So Xbox, whatever it is.
Oh, cool.
So that's gonna be really exciting. But I think when it comes to breaks, I'm always kind of scared that I'm going to be too laid back and too lazy, and because of that,
Me
I'm gonna
too.
be coming in every day and doing research. Yeah. So,
You gonna still play video games at night though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
Stay up till like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Wake up at 8 a.m. and repeat.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I'll probably just making sure I spend time with like friends and family. I know at least one of my high school friends is coming back for Thanksgiving, so hopefully we'll be able to hang out with him. But yeah, otherwise just spending time with family because normally throughout the semester I don't have as much time normally as I would
Same.
like, and also don't see my extended family too often anymore. So hopefully I'll see them.
I'm really excited to see my sister again because
Aw.
I haven't seen her in 3 months. This is the longest ever in my whole life I haven't seen
You on
my sister.
FaceTime?
We FaceTime sometimes, yeah, absolutely. But she's coming home on Wednesday, I think, and then she's gonna go to like a bunch of Thanksgiving stuff with us as well.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And
I
then-
have so many Thanksgiving parties, like because my family's has a bunch of them, and then I'm also going to Abby's, so I'm like going to like 4 Thanksgivings this
Dang.
week, so it's a lot. But I'm fine with it because I really like Thanksgiving food.
Wait,
Wait,
how
go-
do you?
wait, how do you deep fry a turkey?
I don't know. You probably just stick it in a
How big of a deep
I
fry
don't
do you
know.
need?
They could probably get a giant pot and just put the turkey in. Just for context,
context, please.
At our meeting right before this, we were talking about our favorite Thanksgiving foods, and someone said they have 2 types of turkey. One's deep fried and one's normal, and I was so jealous. I thought that sounded so good.
That's so interesting.
But-
That's like KFC
Yeah,
turkeys.
yeah, yeah.
But I have a question. How do you go to 4 Thanksgivings though? Because Thanksgiving is only one day.
So I
In
have
one time.
yeah.
So I have one on Tuesday for my like step aunt and her kids, and then one on Wednesday for my grandma on my mom's side, and then one on Thursday for my grandma on my dad's side.
So do they sit down every year and they're like, okay, I called this date. I called this date. Like,
Maybe, I don't know. It just worked out this year. And then I'm also going to Abby's family's also on Thursday, so I'm like doing double Thanksgiving on Thursday. So it's a lot, but you know, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
So
what are you looking forward to playing, Nathan?
Oh
over
yeah, Todd and I
Thanksgiving?
just had an adventure. We went to go pick up the new Pokemon games, Scarlet and Violet, and I'm really excited to start playing that.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get Warzone 2 as well. We'll
yeah,
see.
Warzone 2. I like always have loved like the Pokemon games ever since I was a kid, and like at this point it's just like I feel like I have to buy them out of nostalgia, and they also like are sometimes really good. and sometimes they're not so good. So hopefully this one.
How
we've-
often
we've
does a
heard
new
good
Pokemon
reviews.
game come out?
It's the last 2 years have been really good. We had Arceus last year, Legends of Arceus, and then Scarlet and Violet. But before that, I think it's been like 3 years, 2 or 3 years.
Mhm.
So,
You know what game I'm really excited about? GTA 6
Is it coming out?
in like 2025.
Oh, okay. I was like, no way.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a really good game. Hopefully,
Hopefully,
knock on wood.
hopefully.
I
How long has
can't-
GTA 5 been out?
Dude, it's been out for like years.
Really?
8 years, probably.
Wow. Okay.
I think
thought it was newer than
2014.
that.
No, it's they made and dude, the crazy thing about it is it's still very like well played.
Yeah.
A lot of people are constantly on it.
I know. There's a
Yeah.
huge community for it. I used
So-
to watch YouTube videos for GTA. 5.
2013,
Wow.
9 years, almost 10.
Insane.
Yeah. So
Waiting
before-
for Minecraft 2.
Is that a
Alright.
thing? Is
No.
that I was like, what?
So
No.
Are we
wait,
getting a Minecraft server?
We could do that. I think Christmas break is
Yeah,
better.
Christmas
for that,
break.
though.
Yeah,
Let's
for
do
Christmas
that.
break.
So do you guys do anything special? Like do you have any traditions or something that you do for Thanksgiving?
Eat.
Yeah, eating. I mean,
Or
we
any
watch
special
football. Special dishes. Dude, my family makes really good turkey. I'm not gonna lie. I've said this before, but I love turkey so much.
Dude, over COVID, the turkey just hit different. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It tasted better than ever. I don't know if the turkeys were just happier that less humans were around or something, but
Oh damn. Yeah.
it was just the turkey was good.
Yeah.
No, but my family
Slaps.
does like a Middle Eastern Thanksgiving, so we have a lot of Middle Eastern foods, but we also always have turkey and stuff, and even the stuffing within the turkey, it's like a Middle Eastern stuffing, so it's pretty fire.
Cool. Yeah.
About you, Todd? Traditions?
My family, no, we're pretty standard. Normally turkey. I think one year my dad made a roast instead of a turkey one. I actually kind of like that more because I thought it
That's
was
what you
really
said
good.
in the SI session.
Yeah, I said, well, that was for normally he makes it for Christmas,
Oh really?
but I don't think it was last year, but I think a couple years ago or something he made it for Christmas and Thanksgiving, so that was cool. But one thing Christina's family does actually is the day after Thanksgiving, what they do is
They all eat the leftovers.
yeah, they do. Well, they do this thing where they get it's like bread, and then I think it's like cream of mushroom soup, and then turkey, and then they put it on
That sounds
on it,
good.
Sounds
and
actually
it's
pretty good.
It's really good. So I'm looking forward
Wait,
to doing
the,
that.
the better question: at Thanksgiving, does your family do peanut butter or Nutella with the turkey?
What?
Neither.
Neither.
What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You guys don't have the Nutella or peanut butter dipping for the turkey?
Dipping.
No.
You don't have that?
What about gravy?
No.
Yeah, the gravy or cranberry sauce. Or the cranberry
No, like
sauce.
with the you guys don't have that? You guys don't dip the turkey
I've
in the
never-
Nutella
Wait,
sauce?
you put
No,
turkey
I
in
have
Nutella?
never
Bro,
heard
it's
of
so
that.
fire. It's a special. No, I'm just playing.
Oh, okay. All right. What?
I
You
wanna
had
see
us
it.
going,
No,
actually. That was some
I
good
knew-
acting.
I kind of had a feeling it was trolling. I was like, what's next? Like easy cheese?
Yeah. It did seem a little sus, but actually, you had me believing you this time.
I don't know.
Interesting.
What are you guys stressed out about? Is there anything going through your minds about break or even after break and after finals and?
Oh, dude, the lab final actually. Kind of stressed out.
Yeah,
Oh,
bro, why do you have to
yeah.
remind me about that?
Look what you've done, Nathan.
Sorry. Well, you asked for it.
And then the lab report. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh God. Don't even-
I'm hopefully gonna try to get a lot of work done over Thanksgiving. Although I know that a lot of times I'm always like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try my best to get a lot of work done over Thanksgiving.
it's not happening.
And then it'll be like
Yeah.
Sunday night next weekend,
Right.
and I'll be like, well,
Oh,
I got
what
nothing
happened?
done, So
that happens.
But I'm ranked 55 prestige, like 10 on Call of Duty.
Yeah.
It was worth
Yeah.
it. So something did happen. It just wasn't the right things. No, but I don't know. For I'm really looking forward for spring break. That's what I'm really
Sure.
looking forward to.
Why?
Because then we're going to be really close to finishing our junior year.
Okay.
And
then
we're a year
summer.
closer to med school.
Okay. That's a
And
good
by
reason.
then, oh no, actually that gets us closer to the MCAT. Oh.
I like where we are right now. I do. If we could extend this Thanksgiving break, that would be ideal. I guess Christmas break then.
Would you guys prefer removing Thanksgiving break and then just going straight all the way to the end and finishing it a week early?
no, No.
We need
No?
a break.
I'm barely surviving.
I thought you just said you.
No,
would-
exactly. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't prefer.
Okay, wait. No,
Okay.
No. You know what I would prefer is if we stuck interterm after the spring semester. I think that would be great because then everyone gets off a month earlier, and if you don't have an interterm
Oh.
class,
You have a longer summer.
then you have a longer summer. Oh, by a whole month. By a whole month.
No, then that would mean that you would finish fall and you go straight into spring.
No, you have Christmas break. You have 2 weeks.
No, I disagree. I think interterm is good.
Actually, I could see. how
Like
that
I
could
think
be.
that would be great.
Like summer's long enough. I'm not gonna lie.
That's like elementary school.
I think what the problem for us was the fact that like last summer we had physics like right after after spring semester. Like we literally took a final. I took a final on Friday and had class on Monday. And I was
Yeah.
like,
What's happening?
bro.
Yeah, I only had 1 month of summer like without physics, but I still felt like totally re-energized at the end of the summer for classes. Even though I just came off of physics, I don't know. I guess it was more like the hype for junior year and for like moving into an
Hype.
apartment that got me really energetic. I'm still riding that a little bit, so
Really? That's nice.
I still am. Like it
That's nice.
never went away quite. So that's nice, yeah. Anything else? Oh, we all watched Black Panther. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Actually, maybe not yet, just because I think some people haven't seen it yet, and we want.
Well, this will come out a week after.
Maybe on Tuesday.
It'll come out. It's long enough. Sorry guys, there's some technical difficulties. 1 second.
Yeah, so maybe let's hold off on the. Actually, well, I guess we can try to do like a spoiler-free review of Black Panther, but let's just do no spoilers because like.
Sure, yeah.
some
Black
people haven't
Panther
seen it
has a
yet.
black suit.
Yeah.
Black Panther is a panther.
Also true.
So what do you
Not-
guys think? What do you guys think?
I thought, okay, this is my. It was a good movie.
Okay.
I gave it 7.6, and then I looked at the reviews afterwards, and then it was at 7.5. So I thought it was pretty good.
Not bad.
But one thing that I will say is I was expecting more cultural scenes and things like that from the movie, which I didn't feel like I got. And in the trailer, they emphasized the music and culture, right? So I went into the movie thinking there's gonna be a lot of that, and I felt like it was more action based. And I don't know, like when I came out of Black Panther 1, I really felt a connection to like all the characters. But for this one, it was just like stuff happening, you know?
Right, yeah.
It was no like emotional like connection I felt with a lot of things. But one thing I was really happy about was they didn't focus a crazy amount on the death of the actor.
Right, absolutely.
It was they did it very well where it was the start and the end and that was it. They paid their respects and I thought that was very well done. And because you don't want the entire movie to be just focused around that. Like like everyone dies at the end of the day, but he was obviously a big character in the movie and they did respect that. But at the same time, I think they did transition very well into the new like Black Panther. But I just wish if they held on to that culture too.
Yeah, on my side, I would say that, I think for the situation that they were put in, I think that they did a good job. I don't think it was like phenomenal. Like I definitely don't think like my socks were like blown off. But I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it was a good movie.
It was definitely enjoyable.
I thought the characters are interesting, and definitely there were some really like cool shots. But at the same time, I think it didn't like it obviously wasn't as good as like the first one. I don't think it was as good as the first one, but it was still really good. I thought.
Because in the first one, you had a connection to both sides.
Yeah.
Like you had a connection to Michael B. Jordan, and then
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
Chadwick.
And then you like every time it like one of them came in, you're like, oh, I want him to win. Then you're like, I want him to win. I feel what he's feeling. I feel what this guy's feeling. And then you're going back and forth. You didn't know who you wanted to be, like what side you wanted to be on. But for this one, you clearly knew which side you wanted to be on. And like, yeah, I understood the other side's point, but it was just more like, take it to the humans type of thing.
Like it wasn't maybe like there wasn't too much depth. with
Yeah.
it.
I don't know, guys.
It's
I
kind
was
of a
kind of
pun.
rooting for the water people because they had whales. That was pretty cool.
They're orcas.
Orcas.
Just like in,
You're
You're
like, the
spoiling, you're
ponds.
spoiling, you're spoiling.
That's not a spoiler. I'm pretty sure in the trailer you can see.
One thing I will say is if you're going to watch Black Panther, do not watch it in IMAX.
What?
This is one thing that ruined the movie for me was So with the way the movie was filmed, not every scene was filmed for IMAX. So the aspect ratio, the sizing of
Oh,
the shots were different. So at certain points, it would go IMAX, and it changed to another scene, and it'd go regular,
really?
IMAX, regular, IMAX, regular. And at first, no one noticed it, and I was just noticing it the entire movie. And I told Ethan and Christina, who I went to watch the movie with, and right when I told them that at the end, they just got pissed because like I ruined it for them, just
Oh,
because they
wow.
started noticing it. It was just annoying, especially with the end with the cutscene or the different scenes in the battle, because you had one in the water and then one on land.
Oh,
Um, every time it switched back and forth,
dang.
it would just different screen sizes, boom, 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 and it was annoying. It was really annoying. So that's
Yeah.
one thing I was kind of upset about.
I thought, like, similar opinion with you guys. Like, the movie was good, not great, and definitely did not live up to the first one. But overall, entertaining. And I thought the villain was not that great and forgettable.
Really?
Honestly, yeah.
I thought he was so strong.
Yeah, he was OP, bro.
Yeah.
He was
I know,
OP,
he was
but then
so
they
OP.
beat him. They beat him in such a stupid way.
Yeah, I expected
Yeah.
more of like how they're gonna win. Even the ending, I don't know. It was just like,
And the ending didn't like. I felt like nothing changed
Yeah.
either.
Yeah,
Like, that's the thing.
That's a good point. Like, I feel like when I first saw it, like first saw the villain, I was like, bro, how are they gonna stop this guy? Like,
I
this-
was really excited to see more with like what the villain's story is. Like
Yeah.
especially when they're showing his like life his as a child and his mom and
That
things
was
like
cool.
that. That was really interesting. They could have done so much with that.
Bro, where was he when Thanos came?
Dude, I know those memes. Those
Todd,
memes are so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like just that one scene where like he punched that one guy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I was like, dang.
Cool.
So
What a
there's just
strong guy.
there's a lot of room to. There's a lot of unnecessary things that could have been replaced with more of a story.
Have you guys seen the movie Knives Out?
No, what is that?
Really, you haven't? Oh, it's a really great murder mystery movie that came out very recently, and Abby and I went and saw an early screening of the sequel this week.
Wow.
And it was really good. It's called Glass Onion, and we went and saw it in IMAX. And it reminded me of it, so highly recommend that comes out. It's on Netflix, so
Wait, it's on Netflix now?
it's gonna be on Netflix. I think it's coming out like December.
Cool.
I'm really
So-
excited for Avatar though.
Avatar.
That's really a good movie.
So going back to like even further to like the summer where we did like a sort of pre-year or pre-semester like talk where we talked about the things that we wanted to do this semester and ideas that we came into that we wanted to execute this semester. I want to take like a step and just think and talk about have we been doing the things that we set out to do at the beginning of the school year? Because I think that sort of reflection is important, especially in our lives.
I think yeah. For the most part, I've really kicked it up a notch this semester.
Yeah.
Got a lot more on my plate, and I've stuck with it. I mean, I continue to, improve the chess club. That was one of my main goals for this semester, is to really get it moving. And we had such a great kickoff semester for that.
Sorry.
We had such a great kickoff semester, and next semester is going to be just so much more. We're doing like every month in the Piazza, monthly tournaments, weekly meetings instead of bi-weekly.
Weekly meetings? Wow.
Yeah, we're doing it. It's going to be weird. It's going to hopefully people show up because it's a lot of chess, but we're going to reduce the time of each meeting, the amount of time for each meeting. So hopefully it'll be fine. But there's a couple of reasons I wanted to do that. But yeah, for the most part, and then research also turned out great. Volunteering. Only thing that I kind of regret is I wanted to do some shadowing this semester. And I didn't get to it, so that's something for Christmas break.
Yeah, I think you're totally fine doing it either like Christmas break, interterm, or
Yep.
Summer.
I mean, that's why you got a lot of your hours for shadowing. and things like
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do.
It's really hard to do it during the school year. I found because
Yeah.
like obviously doctors work while we're like at the same time we're in school.
Right.
Right. And so a lot of like the especially the doctors who have been there for a long time don't normally work on
Well,
weekends
I
depending on what specialty you're in. But
Yeah, I still wanted to like check out some like programs,
yeah.
email some doctors. I didn't get to that yet, so that's what I'll be doing.
sure.
Just don't be discouraged if they don't respond, because I
Yeah.
guarantee you'll email like 10 people and only like one will respond, or
Yeah.
like two. It sucks, but oh well.
Other stuff you guys have accomplished.
I think the biggest thing for me was I wanted to I think there's three things I mentioned. It was do a lot more community service things, which we've definitely gotten a lot more involved in, and even like now joining the Orange Fire Department volunteer team. So that's really exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. And that's a story to tell later on.
Yeah, once I do it, then you can.
Yeah. Have you submitted your stuff for that?
Not yet. I'll do it. I'll do it once I finish some other stuff.
So that'll be a good story to tell. But that's really exciting. We've been doing a lot of food bank stuff and all that. And I think we're getting into the Lego club hopefully next semester. So that's something I look forward to. Another thing was keeping up my grades, which I did, thankfully. And I'm really glad I dropped DNA to dinos and like figured out a way not to take that class, just because I feel like this semester has been probably my hardest semester of college, where there's just a lot on my plate. And I think having DNA to dinos on there would have been just crazy.
It was correct to drop it.
Yeah.
You made the right decision. I still wanted to take it.
No, totally. And then I think the last thing was I wanted to do research a lot and keep that momentum going, but it was just impossible to keep that momentum going because I was going in like 12 hours a day, 8 to 12 hours a day during the summer, and that was just impossible with the academic schedule I had. So I think that's something I think during interterm I'm hopefully going to work on, and then carry that through into spring semester and hopefully up those hours from like 10 hours a week to 12 or 14, whatever it is.
Yeah, it gets really difficult during the school year because especially when your classes are like spread out.
No, that was the issue with me.
Yeah, I mean me too, because for me it's like I have so many classes where it's like, or so many days where I have classes in the morning and then also at the evening, so it's like really hard to be there. But yeah,
because with research you can't like just do an hour and then leave, come back. It's like you need 4 hours at like minimum, I would say, to really get stuff done. And then you need to do that constantly, and it's just really hard to fit that in with your classes, especially when your classes are very limited. So
yeah, and for me, I need 2 days in a row where I can do 6 and then 4 hours, so it's more restrictive too, which sucks. But it's okay. We make it work. I sometimes do like Thursday nights and then Friday nights, and I make it work. But yeah, totally agree with that. For me, I think one thing that I really tried to emphasize at the beginning of the semester was still trying to like maintain like good balance outside of school. And I think I've been doing that a lot better this semester than I have in previous semester, despite being, more busy this semester. And especially with the way my classes are, I just have so much time every single week where I'm in class. And it's honestly a lot because I feel like I'm just in classrooms for so much of my week.
Really?
I'm literally at school longer than at home.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I have 2 labs, and just stuff like that, and my classes, go for a long time, and a lot of them are like back to back, and so it gets a little rough sometimes. And I think the schedule just has been a little bit difficult for me, but I think I've been doing a good job in terms of trying to like stay healthy. Although these past few weeks haven't been the best, but I've also just been doing more things or being more conscientious of like the fact that I have my limits, and that I kind of making sure that I know these limits and making sure that I'm getting stuff done too while still being respectful of like my own sort of like time and like not overloading myself.
Yeah. I think where I went a little bit wrong this semester is I kind of sunk into kind of a rhythm and got a little bit more relaxed towards the middle, like mid-October, and I kind of let my my grade slip in the biochem exam 2 was not that great for me. But other than that, I kind of bounced back from it. So we're still riding, like I said, that energy from the very start, hopefully to the end. Finals are going to be a big push.
Yeah,
but
totally.
Especially this year.
Yeah.
Would you guys agree that junior year is your hardest year?
I don't know.
Up to now?
Haven't gone
Up to now.
Yeah, this semester I think so.
Yeah, same.
I mean, either that or like freshman, but it's like different challenges.
Yeah.
But I think this is.
I mean, even the upperclassmen that I've talked to have all said that their junior fall was the hardest semester.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I think
but that also depends on like
sophomore fall was pretty hard for me. I didn't like comp sci. I had trouble adjusting to, first of all, being on my own and, and just being in person as well. So being in the Grand, being far from campus was not that easy as well in terms of like transitioning. So it was a little bit harder for me that semester, but this one is definitely pretty up there. But luckily, oh my gosh, next semester I'm gonna be chilling, guys.
Yeah. Wait, do you have classes on Fridays?
Oh no,
That's so nice.
I don't have any class. Like Tuesdays and Thursdays are the bulk of my classes, and then I have like one on Wednesday night, and that's it. So
That's
the
nice.
rest of my days, I'll attend a couple lectures for my SI, and then just do research, volunteering, whatever on campus. I'll trying to stay on campus like 5 days a week still, but it is nice to not have classes. That is really nice.
One thing
Yeah.
I'm really like looking forward to is going back to the gym, just because now I have 8:30 a.m. classes and then 6 p.m. classes. So that entire gap is just basically empty. So what I'm planning on doing is doing my 8 a.m. classes and then doing whatever I need to do at school that probably takes an hour or something. Then go to the gym, go back home, do some studying, come back to research, and then
Okay.
late night classes after that. So
If
that's my
you want
plan.
to do it on campus, if you want to go to the fitness center.
24-hour. Get a pass.
No, I can go here.
Yeah.
It's my tuition dollars, man.
Why not gym in the morning?
Huh?
Is it too early?
Before class?
Yeah, because then you don't have
'Cause
to go
I'm
home.
gonna be sweaty and stuff, and then I have to go home and shower and
okay.
all that.
Stinky boy.
I'd
I
rather
guess
go
that's
do a
true.
class.
Whatever works.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Gym
Yeah.
in the middle of the day seems just a little bit. I don't
Well,
know.
it's gonna be
odd
like
for
at 10
me.
a.m.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's.
I'll probably go to the one by the track in the morning.
Okay.
Are you allowed?
Yeah.
Are you allowed in there?
I want to
Yeah,
start.
all of us are.
Really?
Yeah.
And that was only for athletes.
No, not the one by the track, but like under the basketball court.
Oh, really?
Is it packed a lot?
I can. No, it's not. Sometimes
What's the
Okay.
difference between this one and that one?
that one's nicer.
Really?
Yeah,
The
I can-
one
yeah,
on
it's
campus.
nicer.
Yeah.
we can talk about it more after.
Yeah.
but
Interesting.
yeah, so hopefully I'll be doing that more. But I'll definitely work out over Thanksgiving break because I need to.
But I would
Thank
say
you.
one thing that I'm hoping to better for next semester as well is definitely outside of school life, because I feel like this semester has definitely been a no life semester. That's
It's
for
okay. We're
sure.
hanging out on Tuesday,
Dude,
Yeah.
you said it right there.
So-
Yeah. No life.
Yeah,
it's
that's
definitely
fair.
been hard. Like I'll go like 2 days without seeing my mom, for example, and I literally live in the same house as her. And then
I mean, that's the same thing with me and my roommates. I
So
don't see
it's-
them for 2
it's,
days.
It's like crazy, and then I'll see her like on like a day that's not even that heavy, and I can only see her for like an hour, like 30 minutes, and I have to go back
Mm.
and do studying.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of tough.
we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, and that's kind of what I kind of set off to do at the beginning of this semester, and I feel like I've been actually been able to do that pretty well despite being busy and having a rough schedule, which I'm thankful for. I try a lot of times to go and see my parents. Like there was one time when I went to the lab and I didn't finish till like 4 or something, and I just waited at my house for like an hour just to see my mom for like an hour. So I'll try to do these things, and even if it's maybe not the most time effective, I think that it's important for me to spend time with like people who I don't get to see too often anymore. So I think I've been pretty good with that, even though I have more to deal with. In the past, I haven't been as good about like balancing these different things, but I think it's something I've improved on, and something I still can improve on and want to though. But yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think that this is important. So even if like you don't have a podcast out there, I think it's really important to just sit down at the end of the semester and really reflect on the things that you've done and things that you can improve on, because that could really help you not only mentally but also physically. So set goals, and it's okay if you don't meet those goals. Like things happen. You don't know, you can't predict the future, but definitely recognize them and recognize how you could have met those goals, and just set other goals that will help you meet that ultimate goal. But if no one else has anything to say, I'd love to get into the most pre-med thing to say.
Yeah. Let's
I
do
haven't
it.
seen my mom in 2 days. Even though I live with her.
There we go.
Even though I live with her, yeah.
I think that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah,
There we go.
that's the one for sure.
Yeah, I'll just add one more thing though. Adding on to what Mo's saying, just planning is essential, and just really emphasizing, even if you don't reach the goals that you originally set out first at the beginning of the year, it's definitely okay. As long as you're setting your sights on something and you're putting yourself on a direction, I think that's what's important in the end.
Because you're definitely, no matter what, either way, you're still going to take at least a step towards that goal. That's what matters. But I also have some exciting news. I think on Instagram we went viral.
Oh, yeah,
We're viral.
Again.
we're internet famous. Wait, did we talk about
I
this
think-
already?
We already talked about it.
No,
right?
but we weren't as big on
Yeah,
Instagram.
it was. What day was it?
Wait, what?
It was.
It was Wednesday, I think.
no,
Tuesday?
no, no. Okay,
No,
wait, wait.
Tuesday.
Tuesday because in lab.
What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
It was Tuesday.
Our reel just
On-
like
on
somehow
TikTok?
gained on Instagram.
Instagram. You're
It
on-
gained so many views.
You're
On like a
TikTok.
random day. So
Yeah, it was
we're
like-
at almost we're
Oh no. that's
37 views away from 8,000 views.
Yeah.
But it was
Dang.
crazy because that
Yeah,
day
it was random.
we're
Yeah,
just
we
getting
got
this-
like
insane. I got like a
2,500.
bunch of
There's
notifications.
like 2,500 views in one day.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was,
Crazy.
that was
And it
really
was just
exciting.
like 3 weeks after we posted it. I
Dude,
thought it was
how
crazy.
does the
Yeah.
algorithm? That is so
No,
weird.
my theory is because we were in like the midterm week before Thanksgiving.
Right, people.
Everyone was like looking like the algorithm just
Thinking
was
about
pushing a lot
school.
of pushing a lot of exam stuff, which is what that TikTok was about.
Mhm.
But other exciting stuff is we finally hit over 1,000 listens
Wow.
on all our platforms. Bum, 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 bum.
That's a big milestone, guys.
Yeah, so that's really
I'm
We're
not
so
gonna lie.
famous. We're so famous.
That is a huge milestone.
Yeah, so thank you all for really supporting us, and I hope you gain something out of this. We're always open to hearing things that you want us to talk about and to give you the ultimate student perspective on. As always, if you want the ultimate student perspective, you could check us out on TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Anchor if you really wanted to, if you use that, and we have Apple Podcasts as well. So definitely give us a listen and keep on listening. And some episodes might be better and some episodes might be a little lesser, but it all comes down to what you relate more to. And this is really open to everyone.
Yeah,
So-
and if you want to learn more about anything in particular, feel free to just message us. Feel
DM
free
us.
to message our Instagram. Yeah,
Yep.
and we're real people too. We're just students, and we like to answer questions. So
We're not famous or anything.
Oh, but
guys.
we did get on the Med School Boys live stream.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So shout out to the Med School Boys.
Shout out
Nathan
to them.
and I were on there, and then
That was pretty fun.
yeah,
That was pretty
so that's
cool.
that's
Yeah.
really exciting. But anyways, I hope you guys all have a wonderful week. Good luck with your remaining tests if you still have tests next week.
Have a good break.
But definitely have an amazing break. Take some time for yourselves. Take some time to hang out with your family members, and there will still be an episode recorded that week. So, as always, see you later.